guys, it's the Gardening Moose here from Garden Gateway here again, and I want to talk to you today about fertilizing your hanging baskets and taking good care of them. As you know, we grow a huge selection of hanging baskets, and it's what we've become famous for. And so I want to just take a few minutes and tell you about how I take care of ours and how I keep them looking good. So right here to my right, you can see 4 different products that we use in taking care of our hanging baskets, and I'm going to tell you about each one of them. The first one is the Fertilome Gardecote. This is a slow release fertilizer that is well balanced and has micronutrients. Now I used to use a lot of different, or a couple of different slow release fertilizers that do not have the micronutrients. I like to have the micro package in there. I like to have the chelated iron mixed in there, which this has. It's a balanced triple 12, and so when we do our hanging baskets, we initially start with the Gardecote in there. Anytime we plant planters, we start with Gardecote mixed into our soil. And so that will take care of the first several months of the season. And then come around the first the 1st of July, we like to come back through and do another application of this. This just slowly breaks down and feeds the plants consistently throughout the entire summer. Second is the Fertilome all-purpose water-soluble fertilizer. This is just a fertilizer that you'll mix in water. We use this a little bit differently than the Direction State, and I'll tell you about that in just a minute. This is a well-balanced triple 20, so just 20-20-20 on there. It's great at pushing new growth, great at pushing the green of your plant and developing size to your plants. The other one that we use in conjunction with that is the Fertilome Root and Bloom. Now I love this product. This is 958.8, so it's fairly low in nitrogen. It's got a high middle number, high phosphorus number. That is what is going to push your flowers. It also helps support your root system and keep it growing well. But that 58 is what's going to keep pushing new blooms out on the plants, and so it's very important to be using that. We use the two in conjunction, especially with our petunias, because I like to have the higher nitrogen to push the growth and keep the plants going, but I love to have the higher phosphorus to keep it blooming and looking good. So the way that we fertilize those, in addition to using the slow release in there, which I kind of consider the slow release as bare minimum. If you want average looking baskets, you can probably get away with using just slow release. But if you want great looking baskets, you need to be using a water soluble as well. So what we do is we alternate between these two fertilizers. And we fertilize every other time we water. So if we're watering every day like we are right now at the end of July, we're fertilizing every other day. And what we do is, so if we water with clear water on Monday, we would water with 20-20-20 or the all-purpose on Tuesday. We would use clear water again on Wednesday, and then the Fertilome Root and Bloom on Thursday, and we would just continue to alternate back and forth like that. Now you might think that sounds like a lot of fertilizer, but what we're doing is instead of using 1 tablespoon of fertilizer per gallon of water, we're actually only using 1 teaspoon. And so we're cutting that rate by 1/3, we're cutting that rate by 1/3 and using it more frequently rather than one big application at a time. This is kind of an application that, or an idea that's adapted from greenhouse growing. A lot of greenhouse growers use what they call a constant liquid feed, where they fertilize every single time they water. And the idea behind that is you're putting so much water into these baskets that you're pushing nutrients out the bottom all the time, and you need to be constantly replenishing those. And so instead of doing it every day, we do it every other day. And we just alternate back and forth between the two of them, every other watering, 1 teaspoon per gallon. Now the 4th product is more of a curative product. It's not something that we use preventively normally. This is a chelated iron. And a lot of times you'll run into problems with your hanging baskets where you start to get really bright yellow leaves that have dark green veins. Now this isn't just a hanging basket problem. You'll see this in your flower beds, in your containers. You'll see it in trees and shrubs and plants in the landscape as well. When you start to see that bright or yellow foliage with the dark green veins, you'll know you have an iron problem. Now that can be caused by keeping your plants too wet as well, so make sure that you're letting your plants dry out in between waterings. we use this to solve that problem in our hanging baskets. Typically, I don't have to use it on a regular basis. Maybe once a month or so, I'll mix in just a teaspoon per gallon and run it through with my watering. And it does a great job with that. It will work on your trees and your shrubs in the landscape as well. A lot of people try to grow autumn blaze maples here. Personally, I don't think they should be grown here. They aren't adapted to our climate. They don't do exceptionally well. And I really don't think we should be selling them. But, and we don't carry trees and shrubs. I would think twice before planting them. I see a lot of problems with them. There's a lot of other plants as well, but this will cure that iron chlorosis. It takes time, but it'll do the job. So anyways, guys, that's just an overview of how we fertilize our hanging baskets and take care of them. And as well, I'm doing a video on how to treat for insects and tobacco budworm on your petunias and your geraniums and your million bells. Look for that as well. And as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.